Hello everyone and welcome to another review on the BitTech YouTube channel. Today we've got a new webcam from Elgato, the Facecam. It seems almost ridiculous that they haven't brought out some sort of camera until now, seeing as they make every other kind of streaming product you could want, be it their capture cards, microphones, the stream deck, lights and all the mounts that you would need to set them up in your office. So let's have a look at what's inside and what the main features are and what might set this apart from the competition. The camera's quite a bit bigger than I was anticipating. It's at least 4 times the size of my last webcam. It comes with this handy privacy cap in case you forget to stop your stream. You can pop that on when you're finished to make sure nobody else can watch. The camera itself has a 2.4 aperture or 2.4 f-stop and a 24mm full frame equivalent lens, which is a full glass lens. Behind the scenes is a Sony Starvis CMOS sensor. Sony have been at the forefront of digital sensor development, and I use a Sony a6300 camera to do my filming, and there's even one in my Pixel 5 that I have. So you'll find Sony sensors all over the place because they are that good and were the obvious choice for Elgato when they were designing the Facecam. This transmits totally uncompressed footage at up to 1080p and 60 frames per second via a USB 3 cable. The camera itself has a USB Type-C port, and Elgato supply a USB-C to USB Type-A cable. This is 2 meters long, so you shouldn't have any trouble with the cable reaching from the camera to wherever you're recording or streaming through. Because it's sending uncompressed video footage, Elgato recommend that you don't use any USB extensions or USB hubs, and you plug it directly into a USB 3.0 header on your computer. And also, if possible, that there aren't any of the USB devices plugged into the adjacent ports, just to allow it that full bandwidth. It gives you up to an 82-degree field of view and has an optimal focus distance between 30 centimeters and 120 centimeters, so it gives you a fair bit of range. To help keep you in focus, Elgato employs something that they call optimized fixed focus, so you can move around freely while maintaining a clear, crisp and focused image. It also comes with a software called Camera Hub, in which you can set the fields of view, white balance, exposure and a number of other things, so you can get the perfect picture for your setup. You can then save this directly to the camera itself, as it has its own onboard flash memory, so the camera is ready to go whenever you are. It has a little clip to go on top of your monitor if you don't have a lot of space. Or alternatively, it also has a 1/4 inch thread on the bottom, so if you want to set it up a bit higher, a bit lower, a bit further back, or if you just want to film something else other than your gaming setup, you've probably got the equipment to do so already. Let's have a look at that Camera Hub app and exactly what it can do for your setup. So I've got the camera all set up now. It's currently mounted to my shonky old Dell monitor. The monitor mount keeps it in place really well. I was quite impressed with that. And that's hooked up to our test system, which at the moment is in a Corsair iQ7000X, which also has in it the new H170i CPU cooler, both of which I reviewed recently and are on the channel. Make sure you go check them out. Installation was an absolute doddle. Just downloaded and installed the Camera Hub software, and once I plugged the Facecam in, it soon recognised the camera, and I got the preview picture you see on the right here. There's a few general options in the software where you can set your update preferences. It also has snapshot location, so you can take pictures with the software as well. And then they're saved in that folder for you to Anyway, you can turn off the video preview there in the bottom right corner and then turn it back on there, or using that button in the middle. And you can also change the video format, so 1080p 60 frames per second is the maximum, but you can reduce that down to 540p and 30 frames a second if you wanted a smaller video size. So this button here, save, is where you save the profiles after making any adjustments here on the settings. You can also select more than one camera if you have more. And the first option here is for the zoom or field of view, and you can zoom in up to 4 times, which we probably shouldn't on my ugly mug. Of course, you're going to lose out on some picture quality by doing that, as it's only a digital zoom, but I think for certain things that people might want to stream, having a quick zoom in, it'd be pretty handy. So before I start fiddling about with the actual picture settings, it should be noted that I'm a rubbish cameraman. I know what the settings do, but when I have a picture that's not quite right, I wouldn't know exactly what to change in order to get what I want, and I mostly just change them all until I get the picture that I like the look of. It might already be apparent from the shocking footage in the review videos. So the first one is contrast. You can change that using the slider or the arrow keys, or you can put in whatever percentage you want in the box. Didn't like that. There we go, my fault. Contrast only goes up in increments of 10%. But saturation will do increments of 1%. I'm not sure why they've done that. Maybe there's just not enough difference in it for them to deem it worthy, but it's a bit of a shame that you can't fine-tune the contrast as you can the saturation. And then we have picture sharpness, just in case you want to really pick out some details on something, or if you want to give it the Vaseline effect if you're not too pretty like I am. If you fiddled about with the settings and you've lost the picture that you liked, you can always just reset them there. Next up we have the exposure settings. At the moment that's on automatic, and set up to adjust that for the whole screen brightness. You can change that to be center weighted, so if you're in the middle of the picture or your subject is, it will adjust it according to that. You can adjust the overall brightness of the picture with this compensation bar. At the moment it is a smidge too bright probably, so I can turn that down a little bit and I don't look quite as pale, even though I am pretty sun-starved. If you want to fine-tune the ISO and the shutter speed yourself, you can take it off automatic and then increase or decrease the shutter speed. So you might want a lower shutter speed and a higher ISO. So I can pull that up a bit and that down. Like I said, not too good. Or you can change the shutter speed to a slower one and then pull the ISO down. There we go. But it should be noted that if you're using a video format that is 60 frames per second, you need the shutter speed to be at least 1/64th of a second. If you change that to 1/32nd, then you're not going to get the desired frame rate. Let's reset that because I'm a rubbish cameraman. Then we have the white balance. So at the moment that's automatic, and the automatic setting does a really good job. I can change the color temperature of the lights that I use remotely, and with the picture in picture you'll be able to see the effect and how quickly that goes. So I turn that right down, and the image of the face cam is really quick to adjust to the change in color temperature. If you have lights like that, you can set it yourself, so you can match the color temperature with the white balance on the face cam to the color temperature of your light. I'll just tweak that back to automatic. So finally, we've got the post-processing options. So if I zoom in, you'll get a better idea of what's going on. If I turn noise reduction off, you can see that the picture gets a bit more fuzzy and it cleans it back up when I turn that on. Let's get away from that bearded mess. And then it has anti-flicker filtering, so certain fluorescent lights have a polling rate, and you need to set that to 50 or 60 Hertz to make sure that you don't get that annoying flickering from your lighting. So it's all well and good setting up the picture in Camera Hub, but the software that you're using it with might do its own thing to the picture, and it might need tweaking in the software. So you need to turn off video preview, as you can't access the feed from the software you want and Camera Hub at the same time. But you can also sort of minimize the screen a bit, so you've just got the menu bar. If I just go into the Windows camera, you can get access to the feed again. So as you're using the software that you're going to use the camera with, you can change the settings there just to make sure that you're getting the exact picture that you want. Once you've got it, you can then click save, and that's saved in the camera itself, and you don't have to go back into Camera Hub to adjust it each time unless you're doing something else. So I think that covers everything. So let's have a little play with the camera and we'll see what kind of footage we can get from it. First up is something different for this channel, is a bit of food. You see these culinary videos all over social media where they make things with an impossible amount of cheese. But really I thought this would be good from both a colour point of view and also to see how it copes with movement and a lot of small things moving about at the same time. Now the movement, it copes with extremely well, but I've probably oversaturated it, but I didn't want to take that out and amend it in the editing software. I thought it better leave it how it was taken. Now if there's one thing the internet loves more than food, it's pets. So I've enlisted my two cats, Ralph here, and the black and white one is Alfonso. Now the Elgato Facecam has a large heatsink inside so that it can run 24 hours a day, 7 days a week if you want to keep an eye on your little ones, pets or kids. Now this was shot just with some daylight coming through the window and a 40 watt equivalent ceiling light, but it was still plenty enough for the Elgato to pick up all the colour and details from the cats and the room. I was also really impressed with the details that you can pick out in the cat's fur and the patterns in the fur. And even if we zoom in on Ralph having a drink here, you can see a water drop running down the side of the mug. But this isn't called the Facecam for nothing, as its primary focus is for filming yourself at your desk while you're streaming on Twitch or anywhere else. So the other night I broke my Twitch cherry and did a stream of the Division 2 with my Division 2 themed case mod. Had a few technical glitches but did manage to get it going every now and then. As you can see here, I'm demonstrating how good the camera is in low light situations. You're still able to see really clearly when I turn the light off or down really low, and it reacts quite well to bringing the lights back up as well. Asked a few friends and people from our Discord to come over to the stream and see what they thought of the camera feed, and everyone was really impressed with the picture quality, and especially as by now I'd managed to get the lighting and settings just about right. So I thought it only fitting that we round things off on the Elgato Facecam itself, especially as I've been really impressed with this camera. I wasn't at first, as the images I was getting were a bit washed out and too bright, and it was difficult to pull it back and get a good image, but that was because I was blasting it with way too much light for my full lighting setup. You really don't need the bat signal in your face to get a good picture from it. What I'm filming now is just done on a single ring light, and it's more than enough light to get a good picture from it, and it's not even at its brightest. The image quality is exceptional. When I got the footage back from filming my cats, the detail in their fur coat and whiskers and everything was really good. I was very impressed with that. And everyone that came into the stream did commented on how good the image was as well. In fact, the videos, as I'm recording this now, through Microsoft Camera, run at 35,000 kilobits per second, which is only 15,000 less than my camera that I do filming with. I like that it has a USB-C port in the back, so if you're fiddling with it in the dark or in an awkward position, you're not having to worry about which way around the cable is. The USB cable itself is a really good length. 2 meters is a long distance, and you should be able to get this camera anywhere that you want. And the USB-C cable is thick as well, so it's going to take quite a knock to damage it. As I've shown, it's not just a one-trick pony either, it is quite versatile, and despite having a all-glass lens setup, it is lightweight, which makes it easy to suspend above things, under things, or even pass it through things. The camera hub software is very good. It's really lightweight and very easy to use. I like that you can minimize it just to the control bar, so you can easily get it side by side with the picture in the software that you're going to use it with. Although I do wish that it had some option of saving profiles for different software that you'd use it with, or in different scenarios, say if you're going to use it in the day and night. That would be an extra feature that I'd like to see put in there. That brings us down to the nitty-gritty of the price. Now, the Facecam is £190 or €200/$200, which is quite a bit for just a webcam. But as I've shown, it can be much more than that. I think if you're serious about your streaming, or you're serious about getting into streaming, then the added production value that the image quality from this camera can provide is well worth it. If you're new to the channel, welcome. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out on any future reviews, and we've got loads more mods and awesome project logs from the BitTech forums coming up, and you don't want to miss out on that. You can also follow us on Facebook, Instagram and Twitter for all the latest tech news and reviews, links of which are down below. And you'll also find there a link to our Discord server where you can come in and say hello, talk to us about your latest build or mod or whatever tech you're into. Down there you'll also find a link to our merchandise store where you can pick up a sweet t-shirt or hoodie, even a BitTech mug to help support the channel. I'll be back soon with another review, but for now that's all from me and the Elgato Facecam. Until then, you take care everyone. I'm off to go and buy a bikini and a hot tub and see what all the fuss is about. See you then. You probably already have. Oh.